Playoffs, baby! We're still in Group A. The Banshee Cup continues. We have Aldrich Pass as our first map between the Bratwurst boys and RPD. So, couple of things. First, right out of the way, the other two teams in the group are the Space Goofs and Team Ash. We already saw them play. And, of course, we have now two groups with 4 teams. So, the top 8 made it into the playoffs. We're going to play a group stage. And then after that, the top 2 teams of each group make it into the final round where we're playing out a 4-team double elimination bracket. We also announced bounties. We announced the little twist for the playoffs, and we have now bounties in the game. And I'm actually going to show you the bounties here as well in just a second, or at least I wanted to, and I now can. So let me do that for you real quickly. So here you can see the bounties. Now I have to explain this again. Each team has their own bounty board. So if a bounty gets completed by a team, it's still available to another team. You also have to win with these bounties. So you can't just simply pick Murky and they're like, hey, we completed a bounty. And if you win, if you complete a bounty, you get $50. So some of the teams are going to be sitting here and saying like, yeah, well, we only want to go for the normal prize money. We're just going to try and win the tournament. There's still $2,000 on the line split among the top 4. So that's our priority. While other teams might just say, you know what, we might not make it into the top 4, but we can establish a cheese or two and try and get some pizza money that way. So it's a really cool concept. It doesn't force the players to do anything, but it gives them options. And this is essentially what we're trying to do with this. So it should be super fun. We have seen a bounty attempt already in our first match. Monty the Monstrosity was played. Yasu doesn't really seem to... Either he didn't care, or he didn't know what to do with it. And there's Abatha. I'm just saying. Yeah, but I don't think this is going to be a Monty play. With Samuro, it's just too good to get Samuro onto any kind of structure and then do their thing. It's really interesting because the Bratwurst boys have been playing this time and time again. Samuro plus Abatha is something that they have done a lot. And I kind of like it. Maybe Hazu adjusts. It's Aldrich Pass. This is a big map, so you could do it. Oh, and we get RPD with Vala. Okay, double support Vala. Vala is a hyper carry. I am pretty happy with this right now. This is kind of sweet. Rega, Uther, and we have Vala on top of that as well. So yeah, pretty good stuff. So the main tank Uther play for them. We're gonna keep a bit of an eye out. Maybe like we see other bounty attempts. I said before and I say it again. I personally believe that most bounty attempts will be made in game number 2. Simply because one team will be in the lead and then they can try and pull something off here. Now we have a few more bounties. If they want to go wild, they can add another support. So there's still a few things that they could do on the team composition side. Or they could just lock in, I don't know, second damage dealer Butcher? I mean, who knows? Deckard Kane gets banned. So taking some away some more supports. With Aldrich Pass, frontline, I mean, we could get a Nubarak. But since everything is still open... Masquerade is actually one of the first ones that regularly started using a Nubarak on this map to try and cheese the mercenary, sorry, the objective. The jail guy thingy. The prison. But there's Muradin and Junkrat. So at least for now, it seems a fairly straightforward, normal game. As long as they pick Ultimate Evolution. Now. Third support? Or just a double support Vala play? I mean, to be fair, if you played triple support, you might want to do it with the Vala. But are we really getting this in game number 1 already? And the answer is, yes, we are! Triple support Illidan Vala. Uther acting as the main tank. So, the bounty challenge has been declared. The first gauntlet thrown into the series. RPD is starting it right away and is saying, alright boys, let's go. And that triple support, we're gonna pull that off. Let's see if they can. Death Knight, he has to make his pick here too. It's Arthur's. And well, with that, we're heading straight into the first game of the best of 3 series here in Group A of the Banshee Cup Playoffs. Alright, game number 1 starts, and there's a correction. We have more than only one bounty attempt. We have a second bounty attempt by the Bratwurst boys. Bounty against bounty. No support against triple support is what we're getting here. And yes, Abatha does not count as a support. At least not as a healer. Again, we need to be specific here. We talked healers. So you can obviously play Abatha as a solo support, so to say, and that has been done in the past, even in HGC. But for all intents and purposes here, and we have specified that to the players, Abatha does not count. So they're playing without a real healer. Hazops on Abatha, Death Knight on Arthas, Masquerade on Murden. We got Ultralisk on Samuro, and Dainu on Junkrat. On the right side of the map, we got Mekotzel on Uther, Bala on Oriel, Akunis on Illidan, Bronek on Vala, and Zeomek is playing Rhaegar. So we have 2 heroes that have basically endless stacks. I know, Vala's stacks aren't endless, but she rarely completes it. So she has a lot of stacks. Illidan, on the other hand, he has like more. Like if he gets into a super duper late game, then it's gonna be even more epic. But this is actually wild. Triple support against no support. Oh, and yep, that's the first kill, isn't it? Yes, Rhaegar is down. Now, let's talk a little bit about what the problem is when you don't have a support. When you don't have a support, you hate long, drawn-out fights. Anything where your opponent gets sustainability is a problem. So you want to go for very decisive moves. And oftentimes what you will see a team without a healer, I should say healer instead of support. What a team without a healer does is they are also playing a bit of a macro game. Now, if you're looking at the picks that we have at the front line for the Bratwurst boys, they have Arthas who can go into a Death Coil build and make sure that he has self-sustain, particularly if he also goes into army and doesn't drop Cindergosa on us. And you have Murden, who also has a huge chunk of self-heal. Through his trade, through talent combinations that he can go for too. So there's already a lot of sustainability on those two just by themselves, which is going to matter a lot. And you usually have a lot more damage than the healer team. And that's being used by the Bratwurst boys to engage very heavily here and steal the opponent's camp away. Now, the healers, they love drawn-out fights. The longer the fights last, the better. And also, they're going to love a late game. Because in late game, you don't have fountains anymore. If those fountains get removed, then there is no additional sustainability on the lane for their opponents. They will be the ones that can travel cross-map very easily and still have a lot of heals. Whereas for the Bratwurst boys, traveling cross-map always comes with a big risk. Because the farther they are away from their own base, the harder it is for them to get any hit points back. So there is a real interesting dynamic if you have this collide. I mean, we put the two objectives in, the 2 bounties, but I didn't think they would go toe-to-toe with each other. But the added damage that you normally have with a no healer composition is in the early game giving you an edge, and that's being used ruthlessly by the Bratwurst boys. That's already 3 kills, and taking Bala down here is big. That's one of the Gambit stacks already removed, and Rospiedol is losing more than that. Tons of CC in control for the Bratwurst boys. The funny part with this, by the way, is also that with 2 teams choosing a bounty in the same game, it means automatically that at least one team is going to complete it. So, yeah, we're going to have one team walk away with a $50 bonus. Alright. Vala at 41 stacks. Rhaegar also has started stacking, I just now realized, with the shield build that he uses. I mean, if you have a triple support, a triple healer, you can of course also start to deviate away from the normal builds and try to just make this a bit more dangerous. Holy Shock and Silver Touch for Uther, just to give you 2 updates there. We have for Arthur's Frozen Wastes, so not going into full heal mode just yet, even with the Icebound Fortitude. And Rhaegar, is he getting caught again? And the answer is yes. He's getting wrecked. Having to side lane in this is so awkward in the first place. And he's getting absolutely destroyed down there. This is the 3rd time that he has now fallen. It's 5 kills to 0. Illidan is at 10 stacks on his level 1. Vala is at 41 right now. And yeah, it's gonna get dangerous quickly for the Polish team. Well, right now they are not doing anything. So, yeah, maybe a little bit early for the battle cries here. Anyways, at the top, they're also starting to lose the wall. First prisoner camp obviously being taken means that now we see the cavalry moving in and starting to take some of these downs. And that is the end of Illidan. Illidan goes down, so Orc Bully's Blind Man is going to be the headline tomorrow. Ultralis comes in here and just takes him out, and with no defender left at the top side, this is going to destroy the fort. And they're hoping to do a similar thing in the middle. They won't get the entire thing, but they're going to get some damage in and drop it low. So, all the way at the top, first fort is gone. And by the way, this is the first set of cavalry. We're 5 minutes into this, and they already lost one. Now, yeah, here comes again. Zeomech, they want to kill, and they get it. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Ooh, they get another one. Nice. Arthurs and Junkrat are both dead. That's awesome. Yep, that is really awesome. They are starting to bring this back a little bit. And Ultralisk with the stun is now also going to fall. Oriel came in from behind, so they get 3 kills. They stop the bleeding a bit and give themselves, for sure, a chance. 51 stacks on Rhaegar's level 1, 67 for Vala, 4. I mean, they're getting there. They're really getting there. With the Silver Touch here, of course, as well. So, yeah, mana cost reduction and range increase are going to be nice for him. The additional damage for Vala, the additional damage for Illidan. They would love a late game. Everything that they have screams late game. Specifically when we're also talking about Stormcaller here. So, yeah, there is a lot that happens. Now, we'll see if they can get into that late game, leverage Vala and Illidan properly, or if the Bratwurst boys are just going to walk over them, go through them like hot butter through cheese, and just drop them quickly. No ult for Illidan yet. I mean, you can go Metamorphosis, but you also could go Hunt here. At the end of the day, you have 3 supports, at least technically. The heals are coming, stun, 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 whip, and there's the Hunt, and Arthurs is dead. Awesome. Oh god, this bounties were such a good idea. And we're only early in the playoffs, so we'll see how the teams respond to it after the group stage. If we're going to get more, if we're going to get less, or how they're going to play this one out. But yeah, it is definitely very amusing right now. So, 7 kills to 4, 12 to 11. The attacks, they still keep coming here. Top side, this is also where the red team is a bit in trouble, since Samuro is still pushing this. Get some attacks in here. And drop this one, and at the bottom of the map, one fort gets destroyed. The worrisome part is that there's a boss being taken, and that the top side wall at the keep has already been damaged and softened up, so that makes it a bit tricky. That first keep could start to take some damage, but they're also trying to go for the attack down at the bottom of the map. Vala with 12,000 damage, Illidan with 9,000. And the Bratwurst boys have realized that they're not necessarily going to get a free win here, but they are still in the driver's seat. Not only did they take the topside boss earlier, they softened up the top wall, and they are aiming for the next objective. And that would be the second one to their name. Covering all of that will be difficult for Rospedal. So, yeah. But then again, the defense is slowly coming in. That boss is doing work. Nice stun against Rhaegar, but he's still fine. Don't forget there's also a boss at the bottom of the map. The difference is that Abathar has Mule, so he can always mule things up. But it seems like they are losing another objective. If they can get a kill, that would be a bit better for defense. But there's Syndragosa. Who needs army when you have a dragon? Captain Hitsugaya would still be proud. It's not Hyunmaru, but still, we'll take Syndragosa for now. Level 13 on both sides. Top side has been defended. Can they chase him down here? Yeah, spray game, as usual from Masquerade, on point. Boss opened, I guess, the wall up. But now Vala has also additional stacks. She's now on 2 additional quest rewards. Has only died once. So that's a little bit of the attack speed gone, but it's not too much. So they're still doing well here. And Rhaegar is at 101 stacks. Illidan has already completed his, so he's starting to stack further. Is now at 45. As the game continues, they're definitely going to get a lot stronger. It's actually also interesting because we have in the game now something that has been played in the past a lot. When Illidan was still very popular and played, one of the immediate counters to Illidan was Arthur's, because he just could control him so well with slow, and Illidan hinges a lot on his ability to get auto attacks through. So that's why stuns are very effective against them, that's why Arthur's is very effective against them, and it really can be a huge asset. This can be a huge problem. That top keep is already this low, only 10 minutes into the game. Yeah, you're having some problems there. Now Illidan is of course working as best as he can on those stacks for the auto attack, and if they make it into a heavy late game, then I think Illidan plus Vala could really cause a problem for the Bratwurst boys. But generally speaking, the blue team has made the better move so far in the game, has destroyed every single forward, and is now working the first keep, so they are looking strong. And they are, of course, one of the top favorites, if not the top favorite, in this tournament in the first place. That's just our baseline. Level 16 talents are going to be up next. Not as many skirmishes anymore as I thought we might get. So, on top of that, I guess I never really mentioned it, but we don't have monstrosity for Abathur. Since they are trying a no-healer composition, that makes perfect sense. And the ultimate evolution is also going to help them to control in the late game with Samuro some of the structures here, which must be part of what they're attempting to do. So once again, the attacks keep coming. Vala will soon get access to Manticore, which is going to be big. And down here, Ultralisk, are they actually going to get him? They're trying to cover the retreats. Ultra is fine. He's fine. He's going to join up with the rest of the team. Nice move. They were trying to shut down his escape paths, but they couldn't fully make it happen. So, yeah. Now as best as they can with the next prisoner camp being located. And here it is, level 16. It gives us Benediction. That's huge in and of itself. Then we got Blades of Azeroth. Another big pick. Manticore should come in for Vala, which is also brilliant. And with the Rising Storm. It's actually kind of interesting too, because like we have a full-on build now into Shield. You don't see that a lot when Rega is the solo support for the team. But in this case, you can pull it off. Stormcaller, the Electric Charge coming in, then we got the Earth Shield as more often, and then Rising Storm. So really trying to play around this. Samuro, Abathur, topside keep. This is likely gonna fall now, isn't it? Down here, a bit of a skirmish, but yeah, that keep is not looking good. Essentially, Samuro is going to be able to take this at the later stage of the game whenever he wants. Can they at least get a kill down here? Doesn't seem like it. Maybe if Illidan comes in. Illidan is still chasing, or at least was trying, but Ultralisk made it out once again. 55 extra damage now for Illidan. He actually used the hunt already, so yeah, he wasn't cooldown. It could have helped the people out down at the bottom of the map. But they're not trying to attack over here. So Samuro is going to get that topside keep. That is a given. He is going to get it. Illidan can try as much as he wants in order to stop this. But yeah, the top keep is now gone. So that's one armor shield removed from the boss, and you can definitely tell where this is going. They are trying to dominate this as best as they can. Akunis is also getting chased and dies. Illidan is down. Abathur, Samuro, and Junkrat were a little bit too much for him to handle. And I think the chances of Rospedol grabbing this objective are fairly limited now. Vala has unlocked a third reward tier for her level 1. Dino with a tactical pause at the same time. But yeah, they are in trouble. They have everybody here in the middle. And while this happens, they're breaking through the keep in the mid lane. Now up at the top, this doesn't really matter too much because the boss is gonna, or the core is gonna regenerate hit points. But the second that your second keep is gone, it means that you don't have, well, you have one armor shield left, but you don't have a lot of sustainability and defense on that boss any longer. So it's gonna be very easy to use Samuro and Abathur to push in and try and take this thing out. If they then even take the one at the bottom of the map, I mean, that's obviously even worse. So for the red team, they're a bit in a pickle here. On the one hand, they want to win the objective. They don't want to give it up. But they're only with 4 heroes on the map. Illidan coming back should coincide roughly with him getting his ult back. So he could YOLO in. But there is a gap in experience that we're talking about right now with the Bratwurst boys on level 18. With Rospedol on level 17. They have the advantage in keeps destroyed, and they're working on the next one. Blue team is making the big plays here. And we have Rospedol retreating. The Polish team is trying to shut Ultralisk down. Is trying to make sure that he's going to die, but the camp gets taken. Now they're trying to get a next set of cavalry too, and it's already bad enough as is. The camp has to be dealt with, Samura has to be dealt with, and if there is another set of cavalry, now 13 minutes into the game, I think at least the mid keep is gone, maybe even more than that. So, yeah, that's gonna be a bit rough. I mean, the idea of RPD was obviously they wanted to go for the triple heal bounty. And one hero that is absolutely standing out when you're trying to do that is Vala. So they were essentially just thinking, okay, outside of Vala, who else do we bring? And they decided Illidan because they figured, hey, with all of those heals, we should be able to keep Illidan alive in those fights. That's already key number one. And we should be able to then leverage his level 1, get a ton of damage into the late game, and just murder with him. But Ultralisk with Abathur support is just doing too much work. I mean, you can see it again. He gets 3 kills. He takes down Illidan, Vala, and Uther, and this might be lights out just right here. Blue team is low. This is the only reason why they didn't go immediately for the core. Core is losing hit points. Again, it will regenerate, but the keep in the middle won't. So it is tough. And here's level 20. Yep, level 20 is in. Rhaegar is, by the way, top damage dealer now for the red team. 32,000 with that lightning shield build. More than Vala. Now Rhaegar is definitely going to die here, but again, 37,000 right now. So he's doing work. I mean, at that point, if you're going for a double support, you might consider Rhaegar again. He's 7,000 damage ahead of Vala, which is in my eyes just wild. There might not have been this many fights in the later stages of the game, but still. So the attacks, they're coming. Level 20, as I mentioned, is in huge advantage. 2 armor shields are gone. The bottom is going to get attacked, and on top of this, we're now also looking at the Bratwurst boys with a cavalry. They're going to complete it. They're going to complete their quest reward, their bounty, and will walk away with an additional $50. Now, once again, you have to actually win a game when you're trying to complete a bounty. And you can only complete a single bounty per match, so from here on they are not going to be able to complete another one in this best of 3 series. So Dragosa is already out, they're going for Illidan again, he's gone, Vala is trying to dish out some damage and at least get top damage for the team, which by the way she is able to claim, so there's that. But there's no denying anymore how this is going to end. There's not a single armor shield left on the core. That's the lead in the series for the Bratwurst boys. Even if they would lose a few more heroes here, which is unlikely. They lose Junkrat, but the core is gone, and that's a 1-0 lead for the Bratwurst boys. And a bounty completed. GG, well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2! RPD is down 1 map in the best of 3 series here in Group A. Battlefield of Eternity is our second map, and let's see what we're gonna get. I mean, the Bratwurst boys, they've already completed a bounty, so they cannot complete another one in this series. Technically, RPD could decide to try for one more bounty and see if they can complete that. Now, obviously, if you want to complete it, it's actually a bit of a weird one, because on the one hand, you can make the argument, well, they are... You have to be confident, right? It's probably easier to win a map when you don't use a bounty, but if your main goal is completing bounties and getting some prize money like that, then fair enough. And you might be a little bit confused by this, but think about it like this. We have a couple of teams in Heroes of the Storm that traditionally make it into the top 4. And top 3, top 4 was always a bit of a cutoff point. And you have a lot of teams that when they participate in a tournament like this, they play somewhat between number 5 and number 8. If you're one of those teams, then obviously your hope and dreams would be to crush through that like ceiling and go into the top 4, where you then get a share of the prize money. But if you feel like you can't do it, or you just like strategically place a couple of games there, then you might be better off just training some cheeses, win some bounties, and then get the pizza bounty, the pizza money that way. Now, again, for everybody checking this out, a quick look. These are the bounties, so you can check them out. So, in this case, all the bounties are still open for RPD, but for the Bratwurst boys, they've now completed the no healer bounty. So they can't do that again in the playoffs. That one's over. That one's done with. So if they want to complete more bounties, they have to look at other bounties that they can complete. They can't do it in this series, but they could technically do it in the next one. So just as a little bit of a side note there. The Haga banned, Jojo banned, since we're heading into Battlefield. Now Vala has been taken previously, so she can't be played again. But we still have, I mean, Liming is up, Hanzo is up, Lulnara, plenty. Not gonna run into trouble here. Hanzo is obviously our big boy when we're talking about that. And yeah, that gives us the double pick for the blue team as we're heading into this. Urel and... Nah? Liming. Okay, Liming for some poke damage. Now, one of the things as well, by the way, with bounties is we generally want to keep it simple. Like, you can obviously overwhelm people with like 50,000 different bounties where you combo certain heroes. What if you combo this one with this one? But at some point, it really just becomes a little bit too convoluted, and you want to keep it as simple as you possibly can. So adding more bounties and coming up with ideas there's still some stuff that people have also suggested after we released the information where we were like, it's not a bad idea. But you want to keep it fairly simple, not only for the teams, but also for the audience. And there needs to be a limit to the number of bounties that you use, because at some point it just becomes silly and nobody doesn't really understand anymore what's what. That said, if you go from one tournament to another with this, you could also change it up a little bit. You know, if you have a static number of bounties that you want to supply the teams with, you can also say like, okay, for this tournament we take this one out because last time everybody completed it, it was way too easy, so we're bringing in something that's a bit more difficult. Could at the same time also say like, hey, what about like this bounty that nobody completed? It's a cool thing, we want to see it, but nobody's done it. How about we raise the reward money to $75? Is then a team willing to give it a go, or do they just say that it's hopeless? Now, that's information that we're going to gather as this continues, and obviously we're also talking to the players, and we're asking them, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think other stuff would be good too? Why did nobody go for this bounty? Why did everybody pick this one? So, some stuff like this. We thought, for example, at some point also about like putting Suljin in, but I think Suljin is just too easy. It's too easy, and it's something that might happen eventually regardless of bounties, because we've seen it before. So Suljin is one of those heroes that I personally really enjoy, because he has the dings, and you have somebody that stacks until late game, which always gives a game this extra note. But it's something that is just too easy to complete, and we wanted to have stuff that is a little bit harder. Alarak was another one. We were thinking about throwing out a bounty for Alarak, but Ultralisk has been playing Alarak, Dino has been playing Alarak, so this is a freebie. So it's always a bit of a back and forth there. And they go for it. There it is. Rospidol is trying again for the second time in a row. This time they go for Gazlo. The Gazlo bounty is in play as we have the Bratwurst boys with Urel, Alarak, and Chen. And no real tank at the front line. Triple melee. Battlefield of Eternity, map number 2. Let's head straight into it, guys. Game number 2! Let's go. Left side of the map, Yasuo with Urel, Death Knight on Ana, Ultralisk on Liming, we got Masquerade on Chen, and Dino on Alarak. Over on the right side of the map, Rospidol trying for the second time in a row to complete a bounty with Ziomek playing Gazlo. We got Bal on Lucio, Bronek on Maiev, Kunis on Hanzo, and Mark Kotzel is playing Nubarak. So, off to the races. Now, Liming is gonna go for Disintegrate very likely, because she can counter a Nubarak and his Cocoon. There's a cooldown trait that they're going to win all day, every day. And Alarak is going to try and stack pretty quickly. Yeah, I've been talking a little bit about bounties that we had and bounties that we removed. One idea for bounty was at some point also to go for... to give a bounty out for teams that don't play tanks, or maybe even like triple tanks, but the problem is it's just too damn common. It's like, it's one of the things that you see way too often, so we wanted to make bounties a little bit more special, and you can see it right here. This is not a bounty what the blue team's playing. I mean, even if it was, they couldn't complete another one in the same series, but they're already playing a triple front line with not a main tank. These are essentially all side laners that they're rocking right now. Alarak dying first. So he's already dead. Gazlo's at the top. And even when you're talking about triple tank, this is not that difficult to pull off either. A lot of, especially if you are classifying some tanks. I mean, again, there's a couple of like side laners that are technically also played as main tanks. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff where it becomes very wishy-washy. And as I pointed out during the draft, we want to just be very clear for the players, for the audience, and everyone involved. Now Alarak dying first. Gazlo, by the way, with the big game hunter, so we gonna get to see what the Lord is gonna do here. But the attack is in, and Maiev is gone. Bit of sad for them. Started things off with a kill, and then losing him. Yeah. Ultra is firing in the combo out. And nearly able to take this one. Now Dino, Masquerade still moving around. Death Knight is sitting here. We got 1 kill to 1. And seems like so far at least Zeomech at the top is holding his own. So he needs to be a bit careful against Hazo, of course. But down at the bottom of the map, they're making a play for Masquerade, and he is dead. I believe this is the second time also that Masquerade is trying his Chen main tank, something that I believe he's probably seen from Capybara, who I highlighted multiple times. I think it was the Skyline Cup where he played it, and he was just amazing with it. I absolutely loved it. You can find that playlist, by the way, also on the YouTube channel if you haven't checked it out yet. And while we're talking about YouTube channel, guys, if you're actually not aware of it, I created also a Stormgate channel. It is still brand new, and I know that a lot of people are not really that hyped yet for Stormgate since the game is technically not really out yet. But if you want to be on the ground early and really learn a lot about the game, see how it's played, see how it develops, then you should check it out. So if you look into the description, you're going to find a link to the second channel. Would love a sub there. But yeah, watch some of the videos. Check them out, give some feedback, things you like to see, things that you would like me to cover, stuff that you didn't like. It just helps me with the RTS casting there. Obviously, I have a big RTS caster background with Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. It's a bit of back to the roots, but yes, you can find the link in the description and watch some videos and just let me know what you think. Give me some feedback. Would be really appreciated. Would really help me out there. Well, for now, the first Immortal phase is on. Seems like the red team is already suffering slightly. It's down at the bottom of the map. Dino is now starting to move in. Alright. And, well, he is actually doing a pretty decent amount of damage here, too. And that wall is basically gone. There's a tower that's still partly standing, but that's it. Alarak is, of course, also attempting to stack his negatively charged on level 4 now. And his late game damage on a map like this is always nice. They're going for Gazlo, and, well, he's dead. Give him the clamps, baby. Take him down. Come on. Rocket socket. Off we go. Yeah, the good old times when Gazlo was still powerful and dominating every side lane. Makotzler, Anubarak. That's a kill. Yeah, he's dead too. Easy kill right there. Level 7 is now on the board. 4 kills to 3, and they are starting to walk away with it. Hey, it's getting dangerous quickly. First of all, the level that they just got is already big. Any talent advantage that you can run over your opponent is huge. But I also have to give a bit of a shout out to Hospital, because they really reduced the shield as much as they could. And for some time it looked like they might be the ones to win the objective in the first place. But as it stands now, we have 4 kills to 3, level 7 on both sides. The shield is small, but they're gonna try and do a little bit more with this. So yeah, let's have a little bit of a look. Either way, we have already at the bottom Gazlo trying to do his thing again. Nubarak already diving out up at the top. Okay. Let's see, what else can they do here? Because that wall's gone. Can they take the fort? I don't think so. Just a little bit of damage? Yeah, Immortal is just like too weak right now. I was wondering if they are maybe going in, trying to get a kill, if they have a chance to get a good telekinesis off with Dino, for example, and then put somebody out of position. They don't have Keck or anything like that yet, but with Ultralisk in play and Dino and Alarak, if you coordinate on the same target and somebody on Hospital's side steps out a bit too much, you can technically get that kill. And then the fort is, of course, more exposed, and you can maybe take it down. But either way, the red team is fighting back as much as they can, and Masquerade finds himself on the wrong side of that fight, but he's Chen, he's Fat Illidan, so he can just simply jump out once more, and does that immediately. Okay, so where are we at now? 1 level lead nearly. Gazlo still trying to protect the bottom of the map. Hazu! Uh-oh, with yeah, Gazlo's dead again. With Masquerade coming in here, this is the end of the Goblin. There we go, feet first, Masquerade jumps in, takes the kill. That's the second time that Gazlo has fallen. 5 kills to 3, and boy are they close to level 10 now. They are so close to level 10. It's actually gonna get a little nasty. Yep, that next objective is gonna get a bit tricky. Now, with that, we're having the next attack coming. Potentially for the Immortal that spawns in 18 seconds. Is that enough time for RPD to get their own heroic abilities? Time will tell. We actually don't get... Ooh, look at this. No Cocoon. No Disintegrated counter Cocoon. Instead, Wave of 4. So he goes for the Playmaker potential instead. Alright, fair enough. Ultralisk with an Nano boost, but it's Alarak that dies. But that's actually not... That's actually kind of interesting. So Cocoon is going to get way more value now for a noob. Normally, it's just automatic. You go for the counterplay against Cocoon, and then Nuburak is on that end. I mean, I don't want to say useless, but he is losing a lot of his value. Especially if he's, for example, trying to go for Li Ming and she just blinks it or anything like that. But, yeah, with that, we now have another push coming. Oh, the arrow! Cocoon already being used. Yeah, they're trying to push past the Panda. Hazu Ops gets... Yeah, not killed, but they got him low. Got him very low. 5 kills to 4 now. And, of course, they're still coming in here with another play for the Immortal itself, trying to get the objective. And let's not forget, the Bratwurst boys have the lead in the series. This is a best of 3 after all, so one more win and you got it. Halftime show is over and it's a massive victory for RPD. So if they can continue with that, fantastic. And no, he died 3 times. Is that number 4? Yep, Dino's dead. 4 times that Alarak died. Sadism is reset again. Lucio is dead. That was a nice counter kill. Ultralisk. Oi, oi, oi. With a Nano boost, he nearly got it. He nearly got an Uberak. They got Gazlord though. The Gas Lord is gone. And the sleep. Beautiful. They get even my F for this play. Very good plays. Very good moves by the blue team. Once again, they're in the driver's seat. They're Bratwurst boys, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, first that sleep and then just insta-kill with Li Ming coming in. Calamity kick and then bam, down goes my F. So she's eliminated too. Yeah, and that's another objective for the blue team. This time, that's actually going to travel to the top lane again. 13 stacks for Alarak. He's also still working on his level 1 here. Arrow. Oh yeah, that one is going straight to NA. That one is going to hit Florida. Somebody needs to call Ron and let him know. Yeah, Disaster's going to strike. He needs to set up some disaster relief there. Uh-oh, a noob? Ultralisk is really chasing Makotzel down, isn't he? It's the second time that he's trying to go for that kill. Wasn't able to get it, but now the entire fight is centering out the bot lane, whereas the Immortal is having a plenty good time at the top. Coming in and taking that fort down, and this fort is definitely going to fall, just no denying it. They're going for the double. They're trying to fort at the bottom and fort at the top, and they're going to get both. Because there's no defending this anymore. This is gone. Bye-bye. Fort eliminated, and the one at the bottom is also falling. So, there's that. 13 soon kicking in. Yeah, level 13 versus level 12. They have the talent advantage in a moment. Gazlo, Masquerade. If he plays the Panda, you can just jump over the wall. You just don't care. You guys need vision? Alright, no problem. I'm on it. I got this. Jumps in and just says hello quickly. So once again, ooh. Arrow far and wide. The disconnects. Gazlo, give him the laser. Give him the laser, baby! Dino is low! But this time they can't get the kill. Oi. Rodnik with my F, super low, but escapes, and yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Ultralisk is ultra boosted and just goes in and drops them all. Look at this. Gets the boost from Anna, and check this out. Comes in and bam, 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 reset after reset, and says like, yep, thank you. 1, 2, 3. And that's that. Even gets out. Doesn't even die. Would have been totally worth if he died too. But he made it out of the fight. And yes, he is just nasty with these plays. Big moves. 12 kills to 5 now. And they have Rospiedol pinned down. Chen has even moved towards the top lane to work on that gate as well. Everybody else is already starting to move down to the bottom of the map. I'm trying to go for the next camp. You can't kill... Well... Actually got... I was about to say you can't kill Chen like that. He's just gonna barrel away. And yeah, apparently can at least kill Masquerade like that. Because he barreled a little bit too late. So, yeah. Down to the bottom of the map, we have the next attack with the camp, and of course all of this is timed around the Immortal spawn. So now that it's up, the camp bot side will likely do damage to the keep because the red team has to fight here. And they're trying for the easiest target again. They go for Alarak. He killed him a bunch of times already, and they're trying it once more. And they might have a chance. But this is also all playing out on the red team's Immortal, so these stun circles are not really helping. Yeah. Talents are the same, but 16 is getting closer for the Bratwurst boys. And they got their defense too, and look how much damage has been done down here. That keep is low, and it's not gonna heal up anytime. They have to get Arconis down here. But there's a catapult now, there's a camp. They have taken the lead on the objective on the other hand. That's the good news. They got Hanzo, and Hanzo with his arrows, if they lined up properly, is a ton. But as is, Chen has now decided that he would rather go for the keep than just try to fight for the objective. And honestly, I don't even blame him. So he's able to escort everyone in. That means that the keep is now going to fall. We go again for Dino. Ana is already dead as they are taking aim at Alarak. And Dino is dead as well. This is going to be the first objective for the red team. The only question, is it too little, too late? Hazorps also has seen better days. The old man gets murdered. And that's the objective. It's a big one. They are a talent down. Opponent has now catapults and camps up on the map, but they were able to take it. Gazo obviously also pretty sweet with all of the damage that he does, and with the stuff that he is setting up around the Immortal position. He's currently at 32,000 damage, which is more than Hanzo. A little bit less than Urel, Maiev. But it's not bad. Now, they got the Immortal. They nearly got level 16 as well, but they have to relieve pressure from the bot lane. This is where they lost their keep, so every wave is spawning catapult for the opponent. First the disc misses, and then the arrow misses. I mean, they all load everything out that they had and just couldn't connect it properly. So, yeah, hashtag unfortunate. Now, the attack still keeps coming, and with 16, they started to log in for Gazlo, the overclock. Off we go. Oh, an Uberak. No. A noob down. Lucio down. Maiev is about to go down. Gazlo wants a kill and doesn't get it. He got close, but they are wiping the entire team off the map. 5-man team wipe. Everybody's dead. Everybody got destroyed. Yep. Disastrous. And now the question, do they have enough time to end the game? It doesn't look like it, because they're not all making a move for it. Because Nubarak back in 10. Nubarak is back in 10, so they can't destroy this. They're actually taking aim at the tower for a second. This tower is going to annoy some of the catapults later. That's going to bait them in. So yeah, the death times are just too low for them to end the game here. They didn't really have a shot. When the Nubarak is out and can use Cocoon, it's a bit too much. They were trying for... Oh, yeah. The arrow cam sees everything, and this one covers the entire map. Oh my god. Whew. Where's that one headed? Damn. But yeah. That one is headed straight to California, I think. Uh-oh. That's a big one. Somebody tell Gavin. Yeah, they are just retreating. They're 2 levels ahead. They don't need this fight. They also don't have Keg. They don't have Urels. Also a bit more vulnerable than they would usually be. And they don't really have an incentive to fight this out anyways. So, 47,000 damage for Alarak. 49,000 for Liming. And here comes the next objective. And, well... It's a big one for Rospiedol. They kind of have to win this one. If you lose... I mean... Let's just assume for a second, let's say that the blue team wins it, right? Even with the best defense, I think keep is still lost. Unless you're killing multiple heroes by the time that the objective is taken, your topside keep will still fall. And then there's just macro pressure on both lanes against you. So, yeah. They are trying. They have Gaslow to set up. They have the camp. They can set onto the lane. So, yeah. Let's see what they can do here. Right. 1 level until 20. They can't do this before. But yeah. Attack keeps coming in. Alright, Masquerade. Careful. They need a good engage now. And they need it sooner rather than later, because the longer this lasts, the more the bot lane is going to become a problem. You have a camp pushing against you and you have catapults pushing against you. That combo is not healthy. It is not healthy whatsoever. So if there's a time, then it is now. Either send somebody back down to the bottom of the map and deal with it, or make your play. They are missing these arrows. Somebody has to buy Akunis some glasses. I don't want to shit on the kid, but it's like either they have to stun somebody for him, or they have to send him a pair of glasses. If he got drunk yesterday, then he has an excuse. That's more like it. Now we're talking. Akunis with a bullseye right there. It's just those slow ass stun arrows that he's not connecting. 18 to 10, the kill count. And now with Li Ming, finally she's down. Li Ming got killed. But they have the problem on the core. It's Hanzo that starts to move back. Top side, there's of course a camp for them too. Oh, no! And she dies to Lucio. That was pretty clutch. Balor dies, but I think it's worth it. The problem is it's now a 2 versus 1. And at least he saved the core. Has to jump away here. Akunis! Yeah, Masquerade is not gonna get him like this. This is doing way more work than I thought it would. I kind of like that. Level 20 is now in, but they have to send Urel back. And the keep is down to less than 50% of its HP. So that's some solid damage that they were able to do. I think the caster curse goes both ways, by the way. The second that I'm shitting on Akunis, you know, he immediately steps it up and like, BAM! Gets the kill right there. If I tell him now how amazing he is, I swear to God, he's not going to hit a single arrow this entire game again. It's a big... guys, with great power comes great responsibility, and I'm really trying to wield it wisely. But it's not easy. If you have that much power at your fingertips, I think Nuburak... Oh, you see? I told you! He's not hitting a single arrow in this game anymore. Well, did I now counter-curse him? Who knows? Anyways, Dino's about to get back. Disc is out. 21 kills to 12. They don't have 20 yet. They're so close. They're so close to level 20. They need Storm Talons. They just can't fight them like this. The hasty bargain. Never go for hasty bargain, guys. Always take your time. You're getting ripped off if you're going for hasty bargains. You want to take your time. You want to really analyze this a little bit. Think about it. Think about it. Take a step back. Look at the big picture. Life advice. Right here in the game. And there's level 20 for both. Let's go! We got It's Raining Scrap for Gaslow, and it's raining in Uberak. He's dead. Oh no! They're all dead! Everybody's dead! Gaslow is dead, Lucio is dead, Anubarak is dead, Hanzo is dead, and now Maiev is gonna fall too, isn't she? Yep, 5-man team wipe. And that is game. Well done. The Bratwurst boys, the favorites in this series. And they take it with a 2-0. We had 2 bounty attempts from Rospedol. They both got shut down, but at least the Bratwurst boys were able to lock in a bounty for themselves in game number 1. Nicely done. Well played. And that, of course, brings us into the next match of Group A here in the group stage of the playoffs. But a well-deserved victory for the blue team on Battlefield of Eternity for sure. So yeah, nicely done. Well played. And GG.